All right, so you guys know me. I'm always looking to do Lego with what I have lying around, kind of Lego on a budget. Have you guys seen these? These are amazing palm trees. These little sections, I'm not even sure exactly what they're called, they're almost like little ball and sockets, so you can make these palm trees bend in all sorts of crazy angles. They're so cool and they look so good. But they're insanely expensive. One of these little sections in my hand is like $3. So think about how expensive this palm tree is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's $33 in just the trunk alone. Nobody can afford, well, maybe not nobody, but I can't afford to be making $35 palm trees for my city. Like, that's just outrageous. So, trying to find ways to do palm trees on a budget. Try this. I actually like the look of this. I think it works pretty well. If you have these brown cones, reddish brown cones, I have a bunch of them here. I stacked them up. I'm going to unstack them. I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of get a bendy-ish palm tree without having to break the bank on those old retired pieces. If you have any flex tubing around, simple as just try to feed this through the flex tubing. I can never remember which way. First, nope. There we go. All right, we're through. Feeding this brown cone through the tubing, all right? It's really hard to get started, and it does come with a little bit of a warning because reddish brown can be pretty fragile, and this does kind of put some stress on the cones. There we go. I'm sorry if I'm off camera here. Now, what I will warn you about on this is we are so trained as Lego builders to lock things together that your tendency is going to want to be to lock these together like this. But that's going to prevent the flex and it's going to cause your cones to break. So I would recommend you leave just a little gap in there. Ideally, the gap is such that the bricks are not locked together, but at the same time, you can't see any of the gray in between. So I'm going to feed these through like this. All right. I know it's going in and out of focus. I'm very sorry about that. All right, so we're going to feed these through. Now, this comes with the warning that you may end up breaking a few of your reddish brown cones because of the reddish brown sort of fragile nature. But if we get these fed through here, what you're going to see is my goal. You could use cylinders, reddish brown cylinders, but I actually like on this palm tree the fact that it kind of comes in sections. And the bottom section is slightly a smaller diameter than the top section. So that's kind of what I'm trying to recreate with these cones. It'll be, oh, I just cracked one myself. I heard it crack. We'll have to try a different one. I heard it go. All right, there we go. We're back at it. So we're almost there on this. All right, now we are just about there. Looks like I may have the perfect amount of cones. Look at that, perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this is gonna be the bottom of the palm tree, all right? This is gonna be the top of the palm tree. I'm gonna take one of these guys. The color doesn't really matter here. I've forgotten what these things are called, but they're often plant pieces. On Bricklink, I think they're actually in the plant section, maybe the tree section. They're designed to go this way, and you can make them as torches or whatever, but I'm actually gonna go upside down with this thing, all right? And that's going to give me several different bars where I can connect my palm leaves in. I think these are called sword leaves or something like that on Bricklink. I don't know if palm is actually in the description, all right? But I'm gonna get 4 palm leaves in there. And I actually like this design specifically because it does leave me some extra bars to put a second layer of palm leaves on. Whoops. A second layer of palm leaves on. That one's gonna have to go up a little bit. And I'm breaking things. You'll see in a minute after I stop breaking everything. All right, so second layer of palm leaves on. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm getting everything popping off. There we go. Okay, now this goes back on. Okay, so here is, can I zoom out a little bit? Here is my palm tree. Now, what I really like about this is that the tubing allows me to flex this a little bit. And what I'm really going for is, you know, palm trees just don't grow straight up and down. They always seem to be blowing in the wind or have a little flex to them or whatever. Now, how do you connect this thing to, I may need one more cone here. May need one more cone. Okay, so how do you connect this thing because it's upside down? Here's what my recommendation is that I really like, because it's going to allow me to have some extra bend, some extra, curvature to the trunk of the tree. I'm gonna take one of these guys right here. All right, I can't remember exactly what this hinge piece is called, but you've no doubt seen these before. All right, and I'm actually going to attach that to the base plate. And I want this to bend, obviously, but that's too much bend for me. And I really don't want this palm tree like this, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take a little cheese slope, and I'm going to put the cheese slope underneath where the bent section goes. And that's just going to limit how far we can bend down. So now we have just a teeny tiny amount of bend. And so now there's two ways that we can connect the palm tree here. Okay, one way, very simply, is to use some kind of plate that has a bar on it. You can attach that there. And now what you're going to notice is when this thing bends a little bit, we're now going to have a little bit of bend to our palm tree. And so it's going to grow at a slight angle. All right, it's going to grow at a slight angle. And again, is this the perfect palm tree design? No, but we're talking palm trees on a budget here. You may not like the way this looks, but you could very easily bury this in tan to make it look like it's in the sand, or in dark bluish gray all the way around in rocks, something like that. Very easy to hide that portion of it. There is one more way to mount this if you don't happen to have that bar piece or you don't like that design. And that would be with these 2x2 round tiles with the hole in the middle. Okay, these tiles, actually, this hole is perfectly designed to fit the top of a cone. And so that will actually lock in like that. And now same deal, we've got a palm tree that is growing at a slight angle. We'll have a little bit of bend. Remember, don't lock these bricks together, or when you try to bend it, you're gonna crack your cones. I like this palm tree design. Let me show you specifically where I'm using this on my roller coaster, because I'm gonna have some like bent palm trees coming off of the volcanic roller coaster, and I really wanted them to grow at a weird angle. All right, so here's the coaster. Eventually, again, this is all gonna be covered in, volcanic gray. But look at the angles that I can get with that tan palm tree. Instead of brown, I used tan on that one. This one over here, I've got, again, growing at a slightly strange angle. And then the one I just built for you guys on camera is right here. Tough to see with the background, but you can see it's growing at an angle which I really like. Straight up and down palm trees just don't look quite right to me. So this is palm trees on a budget. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys as you are developing your beach scenes or otherwise that need some palm trees. All right, I realized as I watched the video that the parts were kind of far away and hard to see. So just real quick, the cones, 1x1 cones, those on Bricklink are part 4589B, in case you want to look those up. The 2x2 round tiles that look like this that can be used to anchor them to the hinge piece, 15535 on Bricklink. The sword leaf that looks like this, 6x5, 30239. The palm tree top, which we can clip the palm leaves into, look like this. You can find those 2566. The little cheese slopes that are 1x1 by 2/3 that are used simply to prevent the hinge from bending too far down are part 54200. The hinge brick, which is the bottom portion of this, and the hinge brick top plate 2x2, which is this part here. We're talking about parts 3937 and part 6134. And if you'd rather anchor it with the little bar up plate, this is plate 1x2 with the bar pointed up, 4623B. Hopefully that's helpful for you to find the parts if you need them. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.